Hi, Todd Grodin, co-president of the Communications Club at Life West Bellevue here with Dr. Longacre, who is an ICA member and also, what kind of chiropractor?
I'm a human and animal chiropractor.
Both. Okay,
yes.
So we got two types. Now, you obviously became a chiropractor people first?
Yes.
Okay, then what was your path?
So I actually graduated. I went to Life University.
Okay.
And I was in an associateship for probably about 5 years with a couple other practices, and decided that after that I was just so sick and tired of working for other people and I had to be on my own.
Okay.
I'm kind of a self-motivator that way, and it just didn't fit that typical associate mold.
All right.
So I bought my practice in Greenville, South Carolina about 9 years ago. And I started with humans, and it was a small little practice that was there for about 30, 40 years. And, you know, I grew over time. I kind of read what patients needed, and I started adding. And 3 years ago, I signed into from a 1,100 square foot office to a 3,000 square foot wellness center.
Wow.
And we had all sorts of things in there. And I was just like, once I did that, I was like, well, you know, what else can I do? And I kind of felt like I met all the goals that I had been doing and what I dreamed about in chiropractic school, except for one.
Which was?
I initially wanted to be a vet since I was 9 years old. And when I was 9 years old, I had every book. I was on a farm, and I wanted to study it. I think it was a junior year of college. I finally decided I didn't want to do that, but that was after a 3-year internship at a vet office. That was a small and large animal office in North Carolina.
Okay.
And I was there for 3 years, and there were 9 vets at that office. And I saw really, really cool stuff, but I also saw very unhappy vets there. There was a lot of relationship things, a lot of discord, and they just didn't seem very happy. And I thought after that, like, I don't know if I want to do that. And that summer of, I think it was like August, my dad got injured, and that's how I got into chiropractic right before my senior year of college.
Wow.
So I always wanted to do animals, but I'm not in that same direction.
Okay.
So I had looked at, some of my friends were going to ACES, and I asked their experience, and I see all these videos, and they seem very happy, and they're doing it with their human practice too. And I'm like, well, I think this is the direction I need to go in. And I've been watching videos, and I watched Dr. Amy for probably about 8-9 months. I'm like, I have to do this. And I told my husband, it was like January of 2024, and I said, there was no taking no for an answer. I'm like, I need to do this right now.
Okay. That was your impetus.
Yes.
I got to do it. You got to do it now.
Yes.
With it, where do you see the most growth coming from being in animal chiropractic?
In terms of
you personally, the field, either?
So there is a growth in all of it, actually. When I initially started, I saw a bunch of cats and dogs, some horses. There's a lot of horse chiropractors in my area, so that's not really an area that I was like, well, I can do that. I don't have to. But no one seemed to be getting the smaller animals. While I was still in the 101 program, I loved food animal. Okay. So before I even finished, I was already looking towards October when they had the class. Okay. So, and I had asked right before I finished about like getting into that. And so that's where I see the most growth. I see the most growth coming the more we educate about better food. That I got in and took the classes and adjusted steers, and I do a lot of chickens. Now they're coming in my office, which is like the most awesome thing of how my environment changed, how my patient's environment changed. Because initially it was kind of a serious kind of wellness center type. And then what was the change? It was a lot more free-spirited, and it wasn't there's a dog coming off. It's like, oh, that's so cool. That dog, I saw that dog last time. How is that dog doing? You know, like it had way more like interaction, and it made them be more inspired to do their own plans. And I actually have grown the most in my practice with animals. How did that happen? Well, the more that they saw me going to different trainings and seeing me out there with all these photos on our social media and seeing them come through the office, more and more people ask questions about how's the animal chiropractic training going, and how's that one dog I saw, or I saw how they walked in and they didn't walk in. And like they're seeing all these things that I didn't have to tell them, but it was a lot more happy.
That's perfect. We're going to have chiropractic students watching, chiropractors too. For those of you at home, if you can't see it, there's such a light in her eyes. So I'm going to tell you that it's palpable. What one, my other co-president, Lindsay Waldrop, says, what clinical nugget do you wish you were told as a student that you know now? What's that one thing, looking back, you're like, I really wish somebody would tell me or encourage me in a direct, what would you tell them?
It is always the atlas.
That is my thing too. Atlas or
it is always the atlas.
This is awesome. And so when you have a steer, how is it to steer a steer?
Well, you're going to not go and walk up and adjust a steer.
Okay.
They're going to be adjusted in a chute. So that is, it has bars on the side.
Of course.
Yes, there's could be a more restraint, and that's not easy to get the neck that way.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going in bars, and you are using not your hands on that one. So this is one that would not be safe to do.
What? There's an instrument you're using?
Yes. So there are these long dowels that we use with these rubber mallets on the bottom, and you're hitting it.
So you're putting it back into place.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a bigger instrument than I know from the Sweat Institute, but yes, still adjusting, as BJ Palmer said, the one true subluxation.
Absolutely.
Doctor, I appreciate it so much, and I encourage everybody to join the ICA as well. One ICA student doctor to an ICA doctor. So thank you for joining us, and look forward to Cassidy, who's going to be interviewing